like and subscribe. Teachers, what was the best smart response from a student you have heard? I witnessed a rather sad one. In my chemistry class sophomore year, one of my friends was going through some family issues, and his dad just left for a year or so. The kid was acting up in class and the teacher was like, "Do you want me to call your dad?" And he was like, "If he picks up, tell him to come home soon." Not a teacher, but this happened in an upper level French class, where you can only speak French. If you speak English, the teacher scolds you in French. My friend walked in a few minutes late for a quiz, and wasn't allowed to take it. My friend looked at the teacher and said, in English, "That's bull." The teacher looked back angrily and said, also in English, "What did you just say?" My friend, NFRANAAIS monsieur. He got kicked out of the class. A kid in my math class would sleep on his desk. One day the teacher called on him to answer a problem on the chalkboard. He woke up, solved the problem on the board with zero difficulty, and then just went back to sleep. The teacher repeated the same thing a few times with similar results, and then just let him sleep the rest of the year. I've told this story on Reddit before, but this really shy kid that doesn't really speak much was getting picked on by this mean girl. When the teacher tells her be nice to him, he might be your boss someday, without missing a beat he replies, "No thanks, I don't want to be a pimp when I grow up." My history teacher would spend half the class making jokes directed at the students. One student in particular always took the jokes on the chin, and never really made any comebacks. Eventually, the teacher called him out and jokingly lectured him about standing up for himself. He ended his rant with, "You've gotta be a man. You've gotta be like me." The student replied with, "Well, which one? Do you want me to be a man, or do you want me to be like you?" Edit. For those wondering, this happened back when I was in high school in the late 80s. It's one of those moments I will never ever forget. D. This is sort of a flip from the question, but there was this awesome history teacher I had freshman year of high school who was just always in an amazing mood. We'll call him Mr. Smith. One day everyone is sitting in class waiting for the tardy bell to ring when a kid sneaks a condom onto the door handle. The bell rings and Mr. Smith walks into the room, grabs the handle to close the door, and pulls the condom off of it. Looks at the condom helmet for a split second, and stuffs it into his pocket while saying, "Thanks, I'll need this later." Thanks, but it's not parents' evening yet. Edit. Go to bed feeling like. Wake up to find this. Still feel like. But less. Close bracket. We had a teacher that would always threaten to phone our home if we were misbehaving, which she promptly stopped after. Teacher, what would your mother say if I called home right now? Student, she would say hello. Not a teacher, but witnessed a student. We had a substitute who was leafing through the yearbook and got to the senior superlatives. Our school mascot was the Eagles. She started reading some, if then aloud, and said, "Oh, that's nice, Sarah. Most schools spirited a student answered back, "Yeah, because she's always spread eagle." The substitute couldn't keep from laughing, as much as she tried not to. Not me, but a colleague told me this story. It was one of his first years teaching, so he was about 22 to 24 at the time. It was a junior high science class, and he told the student to stop messing around and get back to work. The student's response: "Man, I got S older than you. All I'm looking at right now is a younger than me. Back to work." I've taught preschool for years, and one of my favorite dad responses to children who are being whiny just to whine is the "Hi, I'm your teacher. Egg, I'm thirsty. Hi, thirsty. I'm your teacher." Anyway, one day, after a long week, I sat down to lunch with my class, preschool, remember? 4 to 5-year-olds, and say to a child, we'll call him Tommy, "Boy, Tommy, I'm really tired today." Without skipping a beat, he swallows his mac and cheese, looks me right in the eyes and says, "Hi, really tired. I'm Tommy." That was the day I knew I had taught him all I could. My sister, who is a teacher, was taking her kindergarten class through the lunch line. Well, this day was Street Patrick Day, so there was green cupcakes. My sister told the class, jokingly, "Don't eat too many cupcakes, or you'll turn green." A young black boy looks up at her and says, "Miss Carrie, I ain't never seen a green brother before." Had my class of working class kids at an art gallery. As we waited for our tour to begin, we played on the small playground near the door. A prep school kid in a uniform approached two of my boys and said, "I bet I'm smarter than you are." I watched to make sure no blood was drawn. My students can hold their own pretty much anywhere, and they don't accept insults casually. But they were cool. "No, you're not. Are you in grade 2? The boy said he was, and one of my boys said, "So then we're all grade 2. So we are all grade 2 smart." He went back to climbing the monkey bars. But the prep school kid continued, "I know I'm smarter. Let's do some math, and I'll prove it." The toughest kid in my room looked this guy square in the eye and said, "Well, I'm smart enough not to do math when I'm having fun on a playground." In HSR functions and relations, teacher would always start to say something, forget it and say, "I lost my train of thought." Well, one day a buddy of mine replies, "It's okay sir, there were no important passengers on board." Edit, for those who are asking, functions and relations is a subset of finite math. Think of an entire course on the quadratic equation and its various offshoots. In French class we had one guy say to his friend, "Oh, you!" Exclamation mark. Right as the teacher walked in front of them, and the whole class got quiet. We thought they were in for it. Instead, she goes, "NFRANAAIS, cest asterisk BA cent TARD asterisk." A more common version of this is, "Girl, can I use the bathroom?" Male teacher, "Yes." Girl, asterisk PICKS up bag. Male teacher, loudly, "Why do you need your bag? To go to the toilet?" I once saw a girl answer something like, "Cause some of us bleed from our vaginas. Want me to get you proof?" He just apologized and never made the same question to anyone again. My wife, when she was in high school, had a pet teacher that pulled this kind of thing. The class was doing some exercises, but my wife kept finishing them faster than the lazier students, so she would be standing around waiting for the rest of the students to finish. The teacher accused her of not doing them. My wife said she had done them, and they argued back and forth a bit. The teacher then decided to call my wife's father to get her in trouble or something. The teacher actually got a hold of him on speakerphone so the whole class could listen. The teacher tells him all about how your daughter says she finished her exercises, but is clearly lying and won't do more exercises or something. My father-in-law, who was a partner in a very successful business law firm, listens quietly through the whole thing and then responds with, "My normal billing rate is large number of dollars per hour. Don't waste my time with this crap. If my daughter says she did the exercises and she did them, don't ever call me again." And then hung up. The teacher immediately told everyone to get back to their exercises for the day and never brought it up again. Men have anal sex. Not all gay men give or receive anal sex. This is the kind of misinformation I have to correct when recruiting children into the homosexual lifestyle. Recruiting children into the homosexual lifestyle. I don't think that's true, but I'm not gay enough to dispute it. My cousin's house burned down while she was in high school. When she returned to school, she went to her chemistry teacher, who didn't like her much, with her mostly burned, soggy chemistry book, and said, "Sorry Mr. Smith, my house burned down and this is all that's left of my book." He looked her in the eyes and said in a deadpan voice, "Well, that's a chemical reaction," and then walked away. I bet that guy is a riot in the teacher's lounge.